모든 경기장 도시형.
All right, guys, here we are, Game 3 between NSHoSeo and Prime, and here we have our representative from NSHoSeo, who is our Red Terran, also known as Sting. And in the top right, in the blue, from the Team Prime, one of my favorite Protoss in the world right now, it is Creator.Prime.
All right, so you're going with a double forge style, and I'm looking forward to see how it works out on this map. So,
Most likely, yeah.
As we mentioned, we looked at the Code A brackets, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that style matches up against Polt, a very timing-oriented, early attack kind of Terran player. So,
yeah, I haven't seen Creator play for a while too, so I don't really know what to expect. It's been a couple months since he's popped up in the GSL.
Cool.
That's a lot of time to change your style if you want to as well. But yeah, for a young kid, he's really, really good. His mechanics are very, very solid. If you want to see a good example of his play, go back to the Super Tournament. Actually, he played a game. He played a best of 3 against I'm MVP, and it went to 1-2. He actually did take a game off him.
Oh wow.
And yeah, put up a really good fight.
Cool.
So I've got high hopes for this kid.
Okay, well, here we go. We're going to see what he can offer at Team Arena Challenge. Again, guys, this is the finals of the second qualifier for Team Arena Challenge 2. This is being played for seeding. Both NSHoSeo and Prime are going to be in the main event itself, so never fear. Both these teams will pop up again throughout our broadcast over the next few weeks, but they are now playing for seeding with NSHoSeo up 2-0 at the moment.
Yep, that is right.
And looks like we're going to have Nexus first out of Creator. Dropping that on the low ground expansion that's only accessible through the main.
Yep, likes to play a very macro-oriented style like we kind of talked about a little bit too. I'm curious to see what Sting is going to do as well, though. I mean, he seems to like to be aggressive. He seems to like that bio style, and which is not terribly surprising in TVP, but could that kind of one-dimensionalness come back to haunt him here? I mean, obviously, Creator has, most likely been watching the 2 previous games as his opponents in the team has played. So he's been able to get a pretty good read on Sting, and he may be able to exploit that as well. We'll have to kind of wait and see what he decides to do.
And it looks like Sting decided to do a 1-Rax gasless FE. He's building his command center on the low ground, accessible only through the main as well. No real surprise there. And 1-Rax gasless FE is very popular anyway. This is a safe map to pull it off on. It looks like Creator gets up there.
To get in.
But didn't really see anything out of the ordinary. This wouldn't tip him off to anything in particular.
Yep, this is one of the things that Protoss kind of struggles with early in the game. It's really tough to get in there and scout your opponent if they're Terran. So that might cause him to go for a little bit quicker robo too, just to get that observer out there to see what's going on. Because he doesn't know if Sting is going 1 base or 2 base. He can make a good educated guess at that it's an expand build, but he actually doesn't know. He doesn't know for sure what's going on. So we'll have to see what happens. You notice, too, how Sting is keeping his Marines down on the ramp?
Yes.
That's what you should do. If you're a Terran player and you want to restrict information, a lot of Terran players will just sit them behind the supply depot and be like, there, my Marine is safe. But if you really want to get the most out of those early Marines, you want them on the ramp like that so you can prevent them from even getting up there if possible.
All right. Well, there you are. Top tip of the day from us over here at IPL. But no, it is legitimately a valuable tip. So
yeah.
Now let's see here. Stalker going to pop out and put an end to this SEV here in just a second. Bye SEV. And back on Sting's side of things, though, this is just a little bit more well-executed version of what we saw last game around, because he's going to have, as we can see, Tech Lab at just about the same time he did last time, but he didn't invest in that refinery and unnecessary gas gathering before he put up his expansion this go-around.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. But I think we can kind of knock that out to be a bit of an aberration or maybe a mistake or something. Yeah, there's a Robo Bay for Creator.Prime. He likes to go Robo anyway, but this game he really needs it because he needs to see what's going on. He's going to kind of poke with the Stalkers a little bit too, but that won't give him a whole lot more information, really.
And I said Sting was going to lose that SCV, but he actually manages to duck away with it. That was actually kind of cool and impressive.
Oh, careful.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, actually that Stalker losing perfectly its amount of shields, basically. Oh,
got to be careful
making
here.
their way out, though.
Yeah.
I think the Stalker realizes this. He's backing away now.
Yeah, he's just going to make a run for it. Just going to kind of poke a little bit.
Creator giving me the heebie-jeebies there.
Yeah, he's really being aggressive with the Stalker. It's like, yeah, I know you're just kind of building buildings and making probes. You need something to do, man, but at least wait until the shields come back a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know how he feels. At this stage in the game, you're a little bit bored. You're like, all right, just macro, macro, macro. I got to do something, you know, and it gets boring a little bit. gotta move that stalker.
I like it. All right, so we're moving to the 2 Tech Lab 1 reactor version of the 3 racks build, so he'll invest in quite a bit of upgrades right now and continue to support an MM force. If this would have been 2 reactors, he would have gone for just purely Marines more than likely. But it looks like, wow, we actually have Factory and Engineering Bay coming up at the same time. A lot of times you'll see players choose one or the other, invest heavily in that direction, but it looks like, and I like this approach, Sting just going ahead and going for both at once.
Yeah, well, you can always get the Engineering Bay and then just put down like a safety turret or something just to make sure you don't die stupidly to DTs and use it later for upgrades. It's kind of like Zerg getting that Evo chamber against Protoss early on. It's not that big of an investment, so I think, why not do it? Might as well. It doesn't really hold you back at all. And so he could use that right away for upgrades. He's got a good amount of gas coming in, but he doesn't necessarily need to use it for anything other than just a turret.
And Creator actually going after Twilight Council and Forge at the same time. +1 attacks coming up. Not double Forge right now,
Blink
but
right away. Interesting.
Yeah, going after Blink, which is interesting. We've talked quite a bit, you and I, because we've seen a lot of Blink builds being used in these qualifiers. Yeah,
it's definitely coming back. Protoss players, Blink has always kind of been around, but there was a period of time where it was kind of the general consensus that Blink wasn't all that great against Terran, and a lot of people just kind of avoided it.
Right.
Unless it was just kind of a later game composition where it's like, well, it's going to help, I might as well just get the upgrade. But, yeah, Creator.Prime going for it a little bit early, adding on his second Forge right now. You notice that he did go a double Observer, too. So
yeah,
he's going to have a lot of information here, and that kind of fits his style. He likes to kind of know what's going on. He likes to prepare. Doesn't like to be very aggressive.
Wow.
On the other hand,
he just saw, though, the Observer at least just saw that a bunch of units were making their way out across the map, and he immediately threw down a Robo Bay.
Yeah, I mean, Colossi are going to be nice to help there. Big stim out of Sting. All right, I think he's counting on Creator.Prime not having a lot of units. If he just stims across the map like that, he can get there before he can warp in enough. Don't know if that's the best idea, though.
No.
A little bit of a questionable decision from Sting.
And now backing up and waiting for the rest of the units. Well, did he actually scan?
He did more units to that, more damage to his own units than that Stalker ever could have. So
exactly. And
I don't know, man.
There's a position where, Creator.Prime is going to be able to hold his ramp pretty well. He's got enough Blink Stalkers that he should be able to manage the top of that without taking too much damage.
You can see it's kind of like, all right, is there going to be a drop? Are you actually just pushing my front and that's it? And he's like, all right,
weird.
I guess you are. And he could actually blink out with those Stalkers and do a little bit of damage possibly. Maybe not the best idea right now, but he could pursue a bit, maybe draw out another stim.
And there's the scan. Looks like one Observer does go down, but there is another one hanging around there, so not going to be too big of an issue for Creator. And yeah, he's just bolstering his numbers at the moment. He's almost caught up to his opponent's supply, and he's going to have a Colossus here in a second. So.
Man, Sting is so aggressive. He's going to actually go for that drop at Creator.Prime. Definitely ready for that, and Blink is going to make a very bad day for those medevac pilots if he's not careful. Oh, he did show the blink to Sting, so
Sting
does know about it.
And immediately Sting drops out all of his units. Very smart decision. Creator actually just expanding in the face of this. Of course, it looks like he knew that his opponent was going to do the same, so he didn't want to fall too far behind to this little contain that was sitting outside of his base. But, yeah, so he's putting up his next Nexus. He's got his second Colossus just about to pop up. Thermal Lance is now on the way as well.
I got to say, even though it might not be the safest way to play, I really like Sting's just style of being out there and aggressive and just being very offensive on the map. That's kind of cool to see. It's something that a lot of Terrans have moved away from just because it is easy to make like one little misstep and then lose all your units at this point in the game. But I have respect for Sting. Props to him for being out there and being a scary Terran.
I like it, but he's falling way behind on upgrades right now. He's only about a third of the way through +1 armor, whereas his opponent is the vast majority of the way finished with +2 at the moment.
Yeah, he loves his fast upgrades. Yep, he was actually one of the first Koreans to really start adopting this quick upgrade method of play in PvT. There were some that played around with it here and there, but he was one of the first ones I remember that did it really every game. Oh, man. And is he going to blink and take out some of those medevacs? Oh, he doesn't quite get there in time. This is actually really bad for Creator. He is definitely going to lose that Nexus, and he may lose a little bit more, too. Oh, man.
Let's see here. A couple of Colossi making their way down. Is Sting just going to pick up and get out of there? No, looks like he's standing in and fighting for a period of time. Now picks up, but I don't think any of his medevacs fell. That is a base destroyed for Creator, and he does not want to be in that position.
Yeah, he just was not quite paying enough attention there. Medevacs got in. Sting is just really impressing me here. That was such a risky move to do, but he just somehow manages to seem to make these things work. I like it. This is a really cool, fun style to watch, actually.
And it looks like Creator was not initially planning on running right out and attacking. We'll see if he decides to get aggressive here in just a bit, but just concentrating on his warpins. What's his economy at? He's at 72 workers on 2 bases right now. Really needs that 3rd Nexus.
You know, Sting saw that there were 2 Colossi out there, and he's not even getting Vikings right now. He just made 2 more Medevacs. This guy is either suicidal or he's just that confident in his bio maneuvering that he decides he can just outmaneuver his opponent with drops and bio splitting.
Oh, it looks like Creator kind of knows that an attack was coming. He did split up his forces really nicely, but then just kind of gathered them up again to move into the middle of the map. So let's see here, though. That Nexus about 3/4 of the way finished. He is continuing his warpins, but of course that is reflected. He has fallen back behind in supply, but now he is done with 2-2, and he is well ahead on the way to 3-3 at the moment.
Yeah, and that might be what saves him here, because Sting has a pretty scary bioforce. If he can snipe out those Colossi, he might be able to take on that army, but the upgrades, like you mentioned, are just so far in Creator.Prime's favor. And here's the fight, possibly winking ahead to try to take out some Medevacs. The Zealots getting some surround. Yeah, he's going to push him right back. The Colossi have Thermal Lance. They have the upgrades.
Yeah, this is not looking so good for Sting right now. Like I said, he had his Ghost Academy done for a really long period of time, but never invested in Mobius Reactor until just recently.
Yep.
And as a result, he doesn't have Ghost or Vikings to combat this
nice
very, very powerful, well-upgraded force. So here comes Creator now. This force is just continuing to get pushed back. Looks like Sting is just going to go for a drop. 1 Medevac goes down, had a couple of units in it, and I wondered if Sting was just going to go up and be aggressive or pull back home, and it looks like he's going to try and be aggressive, but the Medevacs are already sitting and waiting.
And Creator, nice job not blinking there until the last moment, just kind of trying to scare the Medevacs away, because he was in a very dangerous spot for a moment there. If Sting had been able to fly back up and land on that natural when Creator had his entire army down there, the damage would have been terrible, terrible.
terrible damage.
Terrible damage.
TRBL. Here comes Sting now,
where's Creator.Prime going with his army right now exactly?
He was going up to the top left, not really sure. He had some Blink Stalker so he could catch the Medevacs. Didn't really happen.
Wow, what is Creator.Prime doing? I don't know why he moved his units all the way over there. He's going to lose that Nexus again.
Yeah, is he warping anything at the moment? Go Immortal! Save the day!
Rambo Immortal.
Here I come to
save man, the day. You got this. You can. He's like, oh, why are you running away? Come get some.
That's some sort of a combo between Underdog and Sly Stallone there. But
that is the manliest Immortal I've ever seen. He chased away for like 4 Medevacs worth of bio.
Let's see here. Oh, and it looks like Sting does have vision of the Blink Stalkers, though. Creator going to try and go to a 3rd base once again. Going to put that over at the 12 o'clock position.
We do have another base finished up for Sting. Died and they put him in an Immortal.
Look at your units. Now back to me. Now back to your units. Now back to me. Sadly, they're not as cool as I am. Anyway, so here are the Vikings now. They do have +1 attacks going to +2. And those upgrades are very, very useful, of course, because a Viking does 2 attacks, so essentially does double duty for you. And looks like the Medevacs tried to sneak in one more time, but there were already a couple of Stalkers waiting for them. That was enough to turn them around.
Now, one part of Creator.Prime's game that he traditionally has not done terribly well on is army positioning in actual fights. So I think I've got this feeling that Sting kind of knows who he's playing against. He's like, all right, if I get Creator.Prime out on the map, force him to engage, force him to make some tough micro decisions, I should be able to outmaneuver him, because that is Creator.Prime's weakness. But we'll see. Might have been working on it too. That is just a huge army for Creator.Prime. The upgrades are so good. 3-3 right now. Shields just finishing, but there's so many Vikings. All the Colossi going down.
Yes, there are.
Oh, but man, I don't know.
These Immortals at the back were actually proving to be worth their weight in gold. The sentries finally go down. That's what I was wondering about. This Guardian Shield could have saved Creator.Prime right there, but it looks like he has enough stuff to just start to muscle through this. The Medevacs are not going to be worth anything if there's no units underneath there to heal up, and Creator.Prime does smash through that army.
Oh, killing all those Medevacs is so huge, too. Man, wow, he actually got all of them there.
Yeah.
Don't know if he should quite get aggressive here. Just a couple Stalkers is a little bit dangerous. Oh, but here come the Templar and the Zealots. Creator.Prime might be rolling to victory here. We'll have to see. The supply is still pretty even right now.
Right. Creator.Prime actually just now saturating up this next base that he made. He's going to need to fill in his pocket expansion inside one more time. Bye-bye Command Center. That's not going to stand a chance. And let's see here. No mining has gone down to the bottom right-hand side. It looks like a couple of mules dropped down, but that was about it.
Look at that. Ghost just finally being created now by
Wow.
Sting. This is like
shocking.
Like I mentioned earlier, his style is just like the manliest. Come at me, I can out-micro you with anything. I can out-think you with positioning. I don't even need EMP. It's a very brave style to play, but I don't know if it's going to work out this time.
And this attack may hit just before 3-3 finishes up if he wants to push it.
If
no.
3-3 does finish, it's going to be a very interesting situation.
Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. It looks like it's 5 seconds away now, so the engagement will happen with 3-3 done. Supplies are still pretty close to even for our two players, but of course Creator.Prime does have the bigger army because he is sitting at about 10 less workers, so that's reflected in army supply at the moment.
Yep. Look at how patient Creator.Prime is, too. It's very good that he's not moving in here. He's waiting to get some more units. He knows he's got his opponent pinned in kind of a narrow choke right now.
Right.
And yeah, he's basically just got him contained. I like that a lot.
And let's see here. How many ghosts are out on the field now? 6. Okay, so we finally do have enough ghosts to start making a difference with EMPs, but was it a case of too little, too late?
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We're just waiting on that engagement. SCV's
maxed out. I think he's going to
continuing to pull off the line. Here it comes now. Creator.Prime making his way through, waiting for those ghosts up at the front. There's a couple of chain EMPs hitting.
EMPs on, but only hits one of the Archons, really.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Could've
even when this line of Zealots goes down, the Archons are still going to be able to buffer damage. There's still 2 fully healed up ones over on the right-hand side. These ghosts are doing a little bit of damage and starting to push back that force for Creator.Prime. There's the next round of Zealots, though. They're going to make their way out. There's no energy left on the ghosts.
Okay, yeah, I mean, the upgrade's really kicking in now for NSHoSeo.Sting. He got some great EMPs there, but he did lose, I think, most of his ghosts there.
Yeah, he still has 6 remaining. He was basically producing them the entire time. So.
Yeah. Now, what Creator.Prime needs to do here is he needs to just hold Sting there. He just needs to not let him expand.
Right.
And he doesn't need to necessarily kill him right now. He just needs to play patient.
Yeah, that's all the minerals left for Sting. That's it.
For a younger player, too, Creator.Prime is actually remarkably good at being patient in situations like that. A lot of younger players want to just go in and end the game. They're a lot more impulsive. But Creator.Prime is good at being patient and waiting for just the right moment. You can see he's pulled back a little bit, doesn't want to get caught with like a fast stim, doesn't want to get EMP'd without noticing things, just kind of poking with the stalkers. Yeah. He's playing the situation really, really well.
Picks off 1 more unit there and then pulls back. Almost loses a stalker, but nothing too bad. Does have +1 shields as well, so those Archons going to be able to take a little bit more damage as well.
Yeah.
Here we go. It looks like Sting wants to try and break this contain. He kind of has to, otherwise he's dead. He is down by 50 supply now and trying to expand once again.
He's got to be really careful, too. I mean, that's a very EMP-able army right there. So,
yes.
Yep. I'm waiting for Creator to expand again. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he's not. He's just pumping everything he's got into units right now.
Because he's mined out of his main. He's getting low, very low on this base, as a matter of fact. And this is really his only mining base. Yeah.
He's still economically doing much better than his opponent. Obviously, he's like 60 supply ahead right now, but you just can never underestimate that bio. And yeah, his opponent is expanding now. Might be able to catch some SCVs coming back here.
Wow, that's such a bad place to attack into, though. Sting will not want to make his way up that ramp.
Yeah,
or if he does, that's going to be tough. Yeah.
Might have to. Creator.Prime has the high ground. It's not a bad engagement for Creator. The Archons are in front. Let's see how the EMPs go. Not the best engagement for the Zealots, though, so this is going to be a bit dangerous. Colossi from behind doing some damage, and actually this is looking okay for Creator.Prime. Yeah, I think he's going to close it out right here.
Yeah, 50 supply left. There's the GG. Sting has gone down. Creator.Prime has taken a game back for Prime. It is now 2-1.